Announcer Rick Steves, who has a very important announcement about the official numbers.
Well, thank you. What a long, long road we have come. And with the vision that the ACLU had and all the drug reform activists in our country, in whatever group you're in or how you talked it up. But I remember 10 years ago, you couldn't even talk seriously about this. And 10 minutes ago, Maria Cantwell shook my hand and she said, right on. So, I'll tell you, the truth is on our side. And what we're doing is we're raising awareness that if we can simply take the crime out of the equation, treat drug abuse as an education and a health challenge, keep it out of the access of people under 21, and recognize the mature adult use of marijuana as a civil liberty, we're going to be able to move forward on this drug challenge in our country, and we'll stop locking up so many people. Yes, we'll save a heck of a lot of money, we'll demoralize a lot of illegal businesses, and we'll have the fundamental American right to do whatever you want to in your own home without the government getting involved. So, this is such a grassroots thing. Nobody could touch this 10 years ago, and then suddenly it's almost counterculture to oppose us. Think about that. So, I don't know, it's just a big... So I'll tell you one thing, the whole country is going to wake up tomorrow and look at Washington State and perhaps Colorado and recognize that this is the beginning of taking apart prohibition one state at a time. That's how they did it 80 years ago against alcohol. That's how we're going to do it now against marijuana. You know, we could not have done this without making marijuana less scary to people who are inclined to be afraid of this thing. And we couldn't have done that without very highly respected people in our community sticking their neck out politically to stand by us. And I want to introduce to you a man that was critical in making this happen, our city attorney in Seattle, Pete Holmes.
Thank you, Rick. One of the unexpected side benefits is becoming friends with Rick Steves. What a great guy. And what an incredible long trip it has been. I spoke a little bit earlier, and I just want to echo some of the same comments. There are so many people that made this work. I mean, Kathleen Taylor, your leadership at the ACLU of Washington, thank you. So many people. The volunteers that have worked on this, guys that have been trying to just document this along the way. There's just been so much involved that you can't possibly thank everyone. Jeannie Colwell's, there's a senator she's been trying to bring rational reform to medical marijuana for years and just struggled with this. And now, it's something about when the planets line up. They line up, don't they? And I think that just having that vindication, it's something that we all knew as we talked, as we worked through this, as we tried to reform medical marijuana and only saw fear take over, leading to a gubernatorial veto. There was good in all of that because it just convinced all of us, you know what, it's time to just go for it. It's time to let's talk about what is the right role for government. Should they be criminalizing adult private conduct? Should they not be focused more on what about the kids? What about access by youth? And all of this is happening under prohibition. It's not working. And so to be vindicated, taking our ever-widening circles and be vindicated by the entire state of Washington is just such an amazing thrill. It exceeded our own internal polling, and it's just, I'm so proud to be a Washingtonian. I'm so proud to be here. I'm so proud to work with you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to show the country that
I think we want to hear from our Commander-in-Chief, Alison Holcomb. Where's Alison? Alison! Is Alison around? Alison's taking a much-needed break, I'm sure. I was just thinking as Pete was talking, you have to have a pretty cool electorate to vote for this thing. And Washington State is, I think the ACLU recognized that. The ACLU 6 or 7 years ago when we started talking about, we did the show Marijuana Time for Our Conversation. this is the state that can have that intelligent conversation. We get over the fear and the lies and the paranoia, and now really the responsibility is on us. On us to really responsibly take the trust of our citizenry now and make this a smart law. We don't want people 2 years from now saying, look at that, we trusted him and now it's just, hempfest gone wild. We're going to celebrate cannabis, but we're also going to prove that this can be used maturely among adults and still recognize the legitimate concerns that people have with safety on the road, safety in the workplace, and also the well-being of our young people. So it is a time now when our legislators and our politicians can realize it's not political suicide to take this common sense, pragmatic, harm reduction approach to drug policy and move forward. And again, we can take the crime out of that equation, and now we can get somewhere with drug policy reform. So this is a big day for Washington. This is a big day for the United States. And I've been learning a lot about this over the last few months, and every country in the world is required to keep marijuana illegal, criminalized, because of our country's insistence on making marijuana evil. And now, we have a harder time with our federal government telling the rest of the world they've got to lock up people for pot when we've got states in our own union that are saying this is not the truth. This is a great day. Thank you all.
Okay, so my wife would be shocked if I had the microphone right now, but she's not here, so I'm just going to say a few words. So about 2 years ago, my wife came to me and said, "Hey, honey, I've got this thing that I'm thinking about. We're thinking about running a marijuana legalization initiative in Washington. What do you think about that?" And I said, "What do you mean? What do you think about it?" "Well, it's going to be hard." I said, "Well, how hard?" "Okay, remember when I was in trial as a criminal defense attorney? It's like that, but for longer." And we decided that it was a good thing for our family, and that's our son Dashel over there. It's in front of the screen. And we talked about how stressful it would be on the family and and whether we could do it, whether it would be okay. Because I know Allison has a tendency to work a lot and very hard, and she's a workaholic, she's a grinder. And you put her to task and she's going to take it down. She's going to get you that victory. And we talked about whether it was worth it as a family to do this thing. And then we talked about what it means to be a parent and what it means to set an example for a child about not only what you put your mind to, and if you say, hey, if you want this to change, then you can work to make a difference in the world. And we talked about what it means to have a marijuana policy or a drug policy in general that discriminates, that creates our prison population, that the private prison population, that takes law-abiding citizens and makes them criminals. What it means to make somebody a criminal. If you started a class and you picked whatever issue, economics, societal, whatever your issue is with the world, and you looked at marijuana policy as a lens for that, it would have an effect. And so we thought that the message that we could send to our child is that, hey, why is Mama not here at 7 when she said she was going to be here? She came here at 9 o'clock. Or why Mama's working this weekend? Why is Mama on the phone? Or why is Papa taking you? Why is this? That you could look back and say, Dashel, Mama changed the world. Not by yourself, but by standing up and saying, I'm going to dedicate myself to the victim. All these people stood up through the history, Keith Straub, Normal, just all the people that have rallied and said, look, if we push this over the edge, we can make it. And Dashel, you can make a difference in your life and in your world. And whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. And we decided that we could do that. And thanks to all of you, all of the people in Washington State, thank you from the bottom of my heart for making my sacrifice, Dashel's sacrifice, Allison's sacrifice, mean something, and I will always be in your debt. Thank you so much. I don't know. I was over there, and the microphone was free, and when I started talking,
the open mic night. Come here! Come here! I was saying earlier this evening when I was waiting for this night that my stomach felt like it did the day that we got married. And it was true. No, it was true because I remember my dad actually called my cell phone on our wedding day because I was running late because I was sitting in our apartment shaking and like very slowly putting on my makeup very slowly, and I was doing the same thing upstairs. So I figure if that was the way that the evening ended, the evening began, the evening should end the same way as our wedding did.